Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll start the session in 2-3 minutes. Let's people join.
Good evening, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Lalit.
Belated happy Holi.
Yeah, happy Holi to everyone. Okay, so we will start. People will come and join. So I also request you to write your names in the meeting chat box. So your attendance will be marked and I will get the number of attendees. So we'll start our session for the non-conventional energy sources course, which is taken by Professor Prathap Haridoss from IIT Madras. And this is the live session for the week 9. So as my general introduction, I am Lalit Bharti, Prime Minister's Research Fellow in the Department of Physics at IIT Kharagpur. And these are my email as well as my LinkedIn profile ID. So you can contact me there. Either you can mail me or connect me to LinkedIn for any kind of queries related to this course or any other academic activities. So this is our week 9 discussion. So basically we have so far we have done the wind-based energy production mechanism and as well as the solar energy sources. So the solar and wind part we have so far completed. Now we are moving towards the new type of energy generation system. So these are OTES or the ocean thermal energy. sources, geothermal, and the some parts of biomass uses, their advantages as well as their issues. So we'll try to cover this in in our week 9 course. So again, I am starting with the assignments questions from previous year assignments or the assignments given to you non-graded and graded as well. So we'll start the session. So we have already touched the basics of biomass. What is biomass in the our introductory sessions in the very first initial phases of the course. So now we will just go beyond this fundamental. So we'll start with this biomass question. So this is again the non-graded questions, the 1 to 5th. So the question 1 is use of biomass represent the capture and release of the same amount of carbon and hence is considered safe for the environment. So first we need to see what is the use of biomass. So what is the biomass basically? So whatever animal based, plant based, organic objects or organic elements we have, they comes in the biomass. Let's say any remaining part of plants which are not usable for us, or any organic objects, let's say the thrown away garbage, the organic garbage only, the organic parts of the garbage from the households, or any remnant from the animals. So if we convert them in the form of energy, we usable energy, so then we will mark them as biomass energy. So basically all the organic objects or all the organic, these are basically made up of carbon. So we need a reaction from carbon. We will heat them up or provide some heat to the product, to the objects to start the reaction. And as the product of the reaction, we will get CO2 as well as the energy in the form of heat. So this is the overall mechanism of biomass. So it is simply a burning of a organic object. So whatever object, let's say paper, wood, anything which is the origin is from the nature, so it will come in the biomass category. So this statement we can say that this statement is true. So ideally they are considered as the equal amount of capture and release of the same amount of carbon. So this is the carbon and we will get in the form of CO2. So hence these are considered safe to the environment. Although you may oppose that initially we had in the form of carbon, then we have in the product we are having in the form of CO2, which is a polluting gas. But as the question says, the amount of carbon is similar before and after the reaction. So if you just consider the amount of carbon, then this is purely safe to environment, although it has also have some issues of increasing CO2 levels in the environment, so which are being taken care of by multiple ways and techniques. So we will consider this statement as true. Then let us go to our next question. This question is, what this question says, temperature deep inside the ocean is relatively unchanged by the time of the day. So this is from the OTES type of energy sources. So it's just simple question based on the temperature of the sea. So you will see, okay, from the the right one figure, we can say that okay, this is the sea level. So basically, the sea temperatures of sea level will depend on the movement of sun and the atmosphere above the sea level. But as you go deep into the sea, up to 1,000 meters or 3,300 feet, you will see that the temperatures are quite constant and independent of the weather outside. If the sun is shining outside, if it's raining outside, the temperature will remain more or less same. So after 1,000 meters or 1 kilometer range, the
Sir,
temperatures are nearly 4. Yes.
uh, hello.
Yes. Yes. So is there any issues? Hello. Is there any issue in the slides or my voice?
सर अभी आ गया.
Okay. So let
Thank
me
you, sir.
check my internet connection again.
Okay, sir.
Sir, okay, sir, no problem.
So this is fine now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So as you go above the 1,000 meter mark, your temperature will be around 4 degrees Celsius, and these are independent of the weather outside. Be it be sun is shining or it's raining, the temperature will be more or less same. So here you can see these are the mixed. They are different layers of sea. So as you deep go in the deep of the sea, so the trend is, so after the 1,000 meter mark, your temperatures are slowly increasing, slowly decreasing, but they stay around the 4 degree mark. So these layers are called the top layer is called the mixed layer, which has effect of surface temperatures, which varies with the latitude. And then we have the thermocline layer. So you can see that it is clear that your temperature depends on the latitude. As you go deep, your temperature will decrease significantly. But after this 1,000 meter mark, you have the either deep water. You can call this as a deep water after 1,000 degree mark, 1,000 meter mark, and there is a very small change in temperature, and it is also very uniform temperature of 2 degrees in the deep sea. So after this mark, you will see only the temperature is constant at 2 degrees Celsius. So the question was temperature deep inside the ocean is relatively unchanged by the time of the day. So yes, it is true. But be cautious if they ask that the which layer they are asking. If they ask the top layer, then that is affected by the day as well as the atmosphere and weather outside, but not the deep water layer. Then the question 3, composition of the earth can be determined in part from information on how earthquake waves travel through the earth. So if anyone is from the geophysics background, they will know these terms: P waves, S waves. So what is these waves basically? So let's say this is your earth and this is the center of your uh, earthquake, and then the waves are generated. So these are the seismic waves. Seismic waves means the waves generated during the uh, earthquake or the movements of the seismic plates, and the plates basically in the earth's interior. So these wave fronts, so basically what geophysicists do, so they observe these kind of wave fronts or the waves. So by using the waves and by analyzing the intensity, the wave fronts, and the difference in the different wave fronts, the velocities and various parameters, they get the information about the composition of Earth. So this is a way to understand the how what is the structure of Earth. If someone asks you, how do you know that Earth has this kind of crust, the liquid melt inside, and the core is something like that. The temperatures are of this magnitude. So nobody has gone to the center of the Earth, but we know at the present time we know what is the structure of Earth. So this is all about by analyzing the different type of waves. So these are first are the P waves, and the second are the S waves. So by analyzing different type of waves, you know what is the composition of Earth. So this is a very basic overview. How do we know that Earth is made up of, uh, or what is the structure of Earth? At different places, it may vary depending upon the structure of Earth's interior. So the question says, composition of the Earth can be determined in parts from information on how the earthquake waves travel through the Earth. So yes, these are the earthquake waves, and they travel, and you know the what is you get to know the what is the composition of Earth. So this statement is true. Then we have the fourth question. It says cool water from deep inside the ocean can be directly used for air conditioning. So this is the question on the OTES, OTEC, or you can say the ocean thermal energy conversion. So what happens in this? So you have a temperature grade difference, basically due to the difference of difference on in the depth of the seawater. So you have a warm water surface here, which is around 25 to 35 degrees Celsius at the near to the surface of the earth, near surface of the sea. Then we have cold water from the deep sea. So this is around 3 to 7 degrees Celsius. And we are using this temperature difference from surface to deep to generate to first we will use the evaporation and condenser technique, simply usually done in the you see in the compressors, be it be refrigerators or be it be air conditioners. So this is the same technique used here, and a turbine is moved by this technique. Then the turbine is directly connected with the generator, and we get the electricity by this method. So here you can say that yes, cool water from the deep inside the ocean, here it can be directly used for air conditioning. So if you take this water and use this, so it can be directly used in that manner. So this statement is true. So that this is a very vague question, but we will see very specific question on this OTEC system. So the main point to note here is to how the OTEC system works. So basically we have a temperature difference, then at the high temperature we get the evaporation. By the evaporation we get uh, high pressures to run the turbines. Then the water gets vaporized in this step. Then it is condensed by the lower temperature of uh, deep sea water. And also we get fresh water in this whole cycle. So if you need fresh drinking water which is not saline, so you can uh, use this water. Then the next question is the on the same system. So it says OTEC based systems are low in efficiency but can be abundantly tapped. So if you check the efficiencies of the system, so basically the efficiency is you have the formula or the relation is 1 minus TC by TH. So whatever your TC and TC resemble the cold temperature and TH resemble the higher temperature or the hot temperatures. So this value should be very less Tc by Th. So your efficiencies are near zero, near one, sorry. So near one means the highest efficiency, but we know that efficiency cannot go up to the 100% or the one mark. So we always have less than one. So in this case, if you calculate or if you just measure the temperatures, your maximum temperature difference is around 15 to 25 degrees Celsius. So here we have the higher temperatures are 25 to 35 and lower temperatures 3 to 7. Also, we need to go very deep to get this temperature. So you need to get around 1 kilometer to get this 3 to 7 degree mark. So that is also very high depth. So this temperature difference is very small. And if you calculate, you get only 20% or you will get 0.2, basically 20%. So the efficiencies are very low. But if you see the magnitude, so your deep water is practically infinite. So if you can harness this energy, even if you have only 20% of the efficiency, if you can harness the energy, you have a unlimited source of energy. So the statement is true that yes, these are low in efficiency, but they are very abundantly available. So that is why this is interesting way of energy conversion or energy generation. Then we go to our first graded questions from the previous year. So the question says OTEC principle is based on blank between the warm water and the warm water at surface and cooler water at approximately blank distance below the surface. So we have already seen that the OTC principle based on what? Pressure gradient, temperature difference, thermal coefficient, temperature fluctuations. So we already have discussed that we need the temperature difference for this for this system, and we need the cooler water approximately what distance. So we have seen the minimum distance is around 1,000 meters or 1 kilometer. So if we go beyond that, then only we will able to achieve this energy conversion. So for 3 degrees Celsius mark, we need at least 1.5 kilometers or 1500 meters. So, so the option 2 is correct, the temperature difference and 1.5 kilometer. Some may ask that sir 5 kilometer mark is also can be correct, but you see if you go beyond your 1.5 kilometer mark, even for the 5 kilometer, your temperatures are very slightly different. If you are getting 3 degree, you may get 2.5 or 2 degrees at 2 degrees at 5 kilometer mark. So temperature difference is very less, but you have to go very deep and the pressures are very high at this 5 kilometer mark. So your system may not work or you may not go up to this that depth. So you will see the temperatures are constant as you go deep, but so the efficient way is to go around 1.5 1 to 1.5 kilometers. You will get the temperatures near 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, and the system will work significantly there efficiently, and you will get significant energy difference or your temperature difference. Then you have the next question. It says if person A and B are moving away from the Earth's surface at a location on the sea, person A is moving towards the Earth's center and person B away from the center. Then the pressure expense will be. So it is a simple question that you have a person A here and person B here. A is going downwards where B is going upwards. So we know as you go deep in the sea, your pressure will increase. So if you have, let's say, 100% gas volume, just going at 10 meter mark, your volume will be half. So the temperature, the pressure is 2 atm. Atm means the atmospheric pressure. So at the 10 meter mark, your atmospheric pressure will, your pressure will get doubled of the atmospheric pressure. And if you get 50 meter mark, your gas volume will be only 17%, and you will face the 6 atm pressure. So it is clear that the if your A is going downwards, he will face more pressure, and if B is going upwards, and he will face the change, and the pressure will be lower, getting lower by the height. So the option is exactly same for both. So that is not correct. Will be different. Yes, it will be different. Then will be more for A and than for B. So that is correct. For A, the pressure will be higher. For B, will be lower. And that's will be more for B than in there. So the fourth statement is incorrect. Only 2 and 3 are correct. Then we get to the next question. It says the general concept of a journey to the earth, to the center of the earth is possible. This statement is yes. So we need to see what is the if the journey to the center of earth is possible or not. So you see what is the inner structure of the earth. So this is a simple representation. So
Sir,
you have multiple
question is missing.
layers.
Sir, sorry, sir. Third question is missing.
The third one, the
This is the
first,
second.
second. Okay, so I don't have the third one. So at the end, just let me know what is the question, then we will discuss. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So it says, okay, so we have the different layers. So basically, the layer we leave, this is the crust, the earth crust. Then we have the upper mantle, lower mantle. This is the outer core in this orangish or yellowish color. Then we have the inner core. So the inner core is the where you the temperatures are the highest, and you see the temperatures are around 6,000 degrees Celsius. So 6,000 degrees Celsius is, you can easily say that it is impossible to face the temperatures of 6,000 degrees Celsius. You cannot go to the core of the earth. So this is the only place where you find the iron in the HCP is related in crystal structure. So basically, you see the iron in BCC or FCC structures, but due to the very high temperatures and very high pressure, here the iron is present in the HCP crystal structure. So the statement second is correct, that this is false. That it is the journey to the center of the earth is not possible because of the very high pressures and temperatures, in which increase significantly as we go from the surface towards the core of the earth. So the statement is false. Then the fifth question. So the fifth question says geothermal energy is tapped near the faults because their blank is easily accessible. So what is what should be here? So let's see what the option. The high temperatures, high pressures, low temperatures, low pressures. So basically geothermal means it is related to the thermal or the temperature at certain geographical areas. Let's say these are the different plates beneath the earth's surface. So basically these are the tectonic plates, and where you get the two tectonic plates touching each other or moving altogether, be it be in the normal fold, be it the reverse fold, or let's say just strike slip fold. So these are types of folds. Folds means you will see the earths have relative velocities, and they are producing friction by moving together in the opposite direction with each other. So due to the friction, you will see there is a very high temperatures. So this is the origin of geothermal energies. So these are the, you can say the geothermal energies tapped near the faults because of the high temperatures is easily accessible. You have the high temperatures at these region. So that is why that's why these are considered as the sources of geothermal energy. Then next question is, you need to match the following. So we have hot water, superheated steam, saturated steam. Then we have the flash additional attachment notification to the plant. Flash tanks directly run turbine and binary fluid cycles. So you have a binary cycle for power plants. Basically, this is how a turbine generates by using a turbine and generator, how it generates electricity. So you have some temperature source and you get some steam in the form here at this level. And by using the steam, your very high pressure steam, your turbines move or rotates. So by rotating the turbine blade, which is attached to the generator, you will get electricity throughout the movement, the rotation of generator. So your saturated steam, superheated steam means the steam having the temperatures more than the saturated state. So saturated can be near to the 100 degrees Celsius, just higher than 100 degrees Celsius. But superheated are at very high temperatures and high pressures related to your saturated stream. So you need different attachments here. So you have a flash tank, directly run turbine. So if you have very high superheated steam, you can directly connect them with the directly run turbine. Then you have hot waters. So hot water is still in the liquid form. So you need some, it will go through the binary fluid cycle. So fluid cycle is attached to the hot water and the saturated steam will be stored in the flash tank. So these B and C both are in the steam form. So they are used to directly run the turbines, and the saturated steam is stored in the flash tank, and hot water is the in the binary fluid cycles. So basically, what will happen? You have a high temperature source. You will generate the you or you will make steam by that high temperature source by boiling of water. Then you will store the steam, the saturated steam, in a flash tank. There it will get the high temperatures as well as the high pressures, and it will get superheated steam. Then you can directly run the turbine by the superheated steam, and the hot water in the cycle will be go through the binary fluid cycle. So these are the different steps. So you can also see here, hot water is passed through the heat exchanger. It is heated in a second liquid isobutane in a closed loop. The isobutane boils at the lower temperature and it is steam runs the turbine. So these are the multiple steps. Then we get the seventh question. It is on the biomass again. So the use of biomass as fuel impacts food production. So that is correct or not? So let us see the what are the options. So true since the agricultural land is limited, false since the crops used are not necessarily at the same, false since the crop uses are the same, false since the energy produced can produce even more food. So the use of biomass as fuel. Biomass is basically your plant waste or your crop waste. So usually what we use in villages to prepare food or whatever. If you are having agricultural land and you have taken a crop, and whatever is the crop waste, that is used as the biomass as fuel. So they are asking the biomass as fuel impacted fuel production. So that is true. Since the agricultural land is very limited, so it will impact the fuel production, because if you need more and more biomass, you have to, you will not be dependent on the crop waste. You have to use your own biomass. So for that you need agricultural land, and if you don't have agricultural land, then it will be limited for you. So biomass is again limited due to the agricultural land limitations. So biomass, what is the limiting factor here? We have the land. Then we have a question on the CO2 productions. So the question says a banyan tree's lifetime is 300 years. If a fully grown banyan tree is burned in a thermal plant to generate energy and a new tree is planted at the same time, so consider the lifetime is 300 years. So the process is carbon neutral in the immediate time frame. The process will become carbon neutral only after many years. There is no carbon involved in the process. There is no oxygen involved in the process. So option these third and fourth are clearly incorrect because carbon and oxygens are involved. Option one is not correct because we know that if you burn a tree, so let's say it was 200 years old, or let's say 100, even 100 years old. So if you're burning right now, so you will be producing a lot of CO2 from burning that tree, but the tree will take so many years to produce the similar level of oxygen. So it may take multiple hundreds or 200 years to generate the equal amount of oxygen, and then only it will be carbon neutral. Your process will be carbon neutral. Carbon neutral means whatever carbon or carbon dioxide you produce, or whatever carbon you produce, it should be equal after the products are, you get the products. So with the reactions, before and after your carbons, your amount of carbon should be equal. So in this case, only in the time frame of many hundred years, then only you will get the carbon neutral condition. So the option 2 is correct. 1, 3, and 4 are incorrect. Then you have the question on turbine. So turbine blades are coated with what to increase blank and to reduce the blank of the blades. So basically we know that we need to increase the lifetime and we need to reduce the corrosion and the abrasion. So the option corrosion and abrasion, these are correct. And these are basically made up of either ceramics or alloys. So alloys are not in the, okay, the coatings are basically, the blades are made up of alloys, but we have the coatings of ceramics, basically, which are not corrosive in nature and also not abrasive in nature. So we need to increase the lifetime of the overall blades, because these are going to face high pressure steam and the water, high temperature water and the steams with very high pressure and high temperatures. So that is why we need to coat them with some ceramic coatings to make enhance their lifetimes. Then the 10th question is, if the water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at a 1 atmospheric temperature, then at 2 atmospheric pressure, its boiling point will be what? So this is a very basic explanation from school class or the textbooks. So this relation we find in our school class. So we know that pressure and temperature, if you have the higher pressure and you have the higher pressure, then your temperature of your boiling temperature will also increase. So let us understand the mechanism behind this. So what is a boiling point? So basically we have a liquid. Let's say this is our liquid. So we always have some vapor of the liquids near to the surface. So let us say this is a liquid. You always have some, let's say this is H2O or water. So you have always have some H2O near to the surface in form of vapors. So if this is not H2O, this is any other liquid, then it will also have some liquid of the some vapors of the liquids. So it is universal for all type of liquids. So you always have this kind of vapors. So when your pressure or your temperature is, you are increasing the temperature. So by increasing the temperature, the vapor pressure will increase, or your more molecules will go in from your liquid phase to vapor phase. So you will have a higher density of vapors here. So at some point, what will happen? Your vapor pressure is so high that your liquid or your molecules for liquid cannot go from liquid to vapor. So they cannot turn from liquid phase to vapor phase. So your vapor pressure is so high. So what then they start boiling. So boiling means they start that kind of fluctuations. You see, while boiling, your surface is moving very fastly, or you can say the very high fluctuating interface you get. So that is the condition of boiling. So at 100 degrees Celsius, you get this condition. So by putting the external pressure, so you are putting more pressure in this vapor region. So what will happen? Your temperature need to be higher for getting that fluctuating interface condition. So basically, if your pressures are higher, you will need more temperature to boil the water, or your boiling point will increase. You can see in the same plot, at 100 degree, you have the or you at 1 atm, you have the 100-degree boiling point. But as you go, your pressures go higher. At 2 atm, your boiling points are 120 degrees Celsius. So this is the relation basically. So if you have, so for this question, the boiling point will increase, not remain unchanged, not decrease, not constant. It will increase. So the same mechanism or the same, uh, yeah, this same system is used as your pressure cookers. So what will happen in a pressure cooker in your households? So you completely close this lid and you increase the temperature, and your pressure will increase in this region. So what will happen? You will get pressure, your temperatures of more than 100 degrees, which is not possible in upper lid system. So in pressure cookers, your temperatures are higher than 100 degrees Celsius. And this is again the same reason why your boiling points are boiling point changes as you go higher on a hill station or at a higher altitudes. So that is also because their uh, pressures or atmospheric pressures are lower than the sea levels. So the same reason which is explained here. Then the next question. How does solar energy affect windmill operation? So this question is from the previous week's quiz question. Okay, these are the previous week quiz questions from week 8. And we have already discussed that how the solar energy is related to your wind energy generation. So first is one thing is how the earth is getting rotated in presence of sun. and your equator get heated more compared to your poles, and so you get the temperature gradients, and your earth is moving, you're rotating. That's why you get this kind of uh, unidirectional, specific directional wind patterns. And the second way is your earth's surface get heated by the sun's by the solar radiation. Then you high temperature atmosphere for the gases go at the upper side due to the lower density, and the colder air will fill this space. So you basically get a rotation of air molecules. So basically, it is a circulation or you wind pattern you will achieve by that. So the question is, how does solar energy affects windmill operation? So solar energy affects air density and impact weather pattern. So this is the air density uh, if effect of solar energy, and this is the weather pattern. So how the weathers are formed. So this is the region. The second option is solar energy enables natural convection. So convection is basically due to the this temperature of Earth's surface by the solar radiation of sun, and you will get the temperature difference. So this is also related to your convection. Then third option is solar energy has no impact on windmill operation. That is incorrect. Solar energy heats the blades, which makes them generate electricity based on the photovoltaic effect. So that is also incorrect because the solar energy and the blades are not related. The blades means they're asking about the blades of the windmill, wind turbine. So that is also incorrect. So option one and option two are correct. Then we have the next question on windmill. So the time is 7:50. So let us take a break of 10 minutes. So at 8
Sir,
p.m.
third question of
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
previous week. The question,
Mhm.
may I read question, sir?
Yes, yes.
What will be the approximate efficiency of an OTEC plant if the surface
Mhm.
temperature is at 373 Kelvin and colder water temperature is 298 Kelvin? So
So you
option
just put this use this formula. Just convert this in. It is already given in the kelvins. So what is the low temperature?
temperature is surface temperature is 373 Kelvin.
Okay,
Surface temperature.
373, and the other temperature
Other temperature is 298 Kelvin. Colder water.
373. So next 293 divided by 373, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is minus 1. So around 21%. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. Four options: 20%, 30%, 40%, and fourth one is the process is not possible.
So, which are the options again?
20%,
Hmm.
30%, 40%, and process is not possible.
So the option 20% should be correct because I'm getting around 21% efficiency. Basically,
Yes.
if the question is not wrong, then the option 20% is correct because your sea temperature or your surface temperature should be higher than the other temperature.
Yes, sir.
So it is given correct, then the 20% is correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I am having one question here.
Yes, yes.
Sir, how we can have the surface temperature that is equal to 100 degrees Celsius for the this ocean thermal plant then?
Yeah, so that is why they are
So that's
saying
why I
that the
think
question
that
is correct.
process
Yeah, yeah.
impossible will be also the option, sir.
Yeah, so what was the temperature again? Let me check. So it is given that 373 is the temperature, right?
Yes, surface temperature is given 373 Kelvin.
Yeah. So that is why you
Water
make
temp.
in degrees. So it will be around it will be 100 degrees. So that is why it is not
Yes,
possible, right?
yes. So that's why I think the option
Hmm.
A and option D both will be correct then.
Yeah. So option D is more correct because it should not be possible.
Right.
I couldn't see the question, so that is why I was not able to check this. But it should not be possible because the seawater temperatures, your surface temperature is never 100 near to 100 degrees.
Yes, sir. It will never be possible.
So option D is correct.
Sir, but we calculate by the formula, if that is written here, efficiency 1 minus Tc upon Ts. So we can
Hmm.
theoretically we can say if this temperature is at surface level and colder water level, then we can find by this
Yeah,
theoretical.
by the mathematics that is correct, but for this kind of systems like ocean thermal energy conversion, so the 100 degrees are never possible because oceans will not go at these temperatures. So
Because
it will
this
be
temperature,
always around 25-35 degrees. So mathematically that is correct, but since the option is given, let the last fourth option is given that it should not be possible, then the
Process is
option
not
four
possible.
should be correct.
because sir, this temperature constant will never be achieved in practice for this ocean thermal
Yes,
plant.
yes.
That
Yeah, sure.
373 Kelvin and that another temperature which is given.
Yeah, that is why. So we should consider that, yeah, it is not possible.
So correct option is fourth. Process is not
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, fourth one. So it is 7:54. Let's take a break of 10 minutes, then we will finish our this remaining questions. So let us meet at 8:04 and we will finish up these questions. Okay, so let us start the, let us resume the interaction and we'll finish these 10 questions. Okay. So these are the previously discussed question, most of them based on the wind turbines and windmills. So the second question is, when a lift type horizontal axis windmill experience wind crossing it. So the velocities of tip or the blade tip will move with more speed than a position in the middle of the length of the blade. Blade tip will move with the more velocity than the position in the middle of the length of the blade. Then third option is blade tip will as well as position of the middle of the length of the blade will move with the same velocity. And for this, blade tip will move with less velocity. Okay, so we have already seen this kind of question. So this is your blade tips and this is your center. Or for horizontal, this is for vertical case. This is the center and this is the edge. So they are asking for the horizontal. So we know and it is clear also that your wind speed at your blade tips will be much higher than the speed of the center due to the rotation. So at the rotation, at the center, the rotation is, the velocities are slower, the speeds are slower compared to the edge or the tips of the blades. So option 1 and 2 are correct. They take it as speed or velocity. It is higher at the blade end as compared to the middle or the center of the winds or the blades. So the option 1 and 2 are correct, and third, fourth is not correct because third said it is equal, and fourth said it is the tip speeds are lower than the middle of that blade. So option 1 and 2 are correct. Then we have the third question. It says wind speed approaching a windmill is space relative to the wind speed after crossing the windmill. So we have to see that it is either equal, more, less, or zero. So this is a windmill at the center. Your V1 is the velocities of the approaching wind speed. Then we have the V2 as the wind speed of wind after crossing the windmill. So from our previous discussion also, and we also know that some of the part of this wind energy will be absorbed by the windmill. So depending on the efficiencies of the windmill, so let's say epsilon is the efficiency or the E is the efficiency. So your V2 will be V1 minus the efficiency, and clearly your V1 will be higher, or your winds before hitting the windmill will be higher than the V2. So if V1 is greater than V2, the option 2, the more is correct. So the statement will be wind speed approaching a windmill is typically more, higher, or more or higher relative to the wind speed after crossing the windmill. Then we have the question 3. Oh, sorry, question 5. It says all windmills can function throughout the day, year, and season, irrespective of their location. So we know that the windmills, the functioning of windmills depends on the geographical conditions as well as the season. If your winds are high, your windmill will be functionally with high efficiencies. But if you don't have wind currents and if your position is or your location is such that you don't get proper wind currents in that particular location, so your windmills or your blades will not rotate and your windmill will not produce or will not generate enough energy. So the statement is the always true statement is correct and always false is also incorrect. So the statement is neither always true nor always false. It is true if the wind speeds are within the acceptable range. So we need the wind speed to be a certain range. then only your windmill will be functioning properly. Or option 4 is true if sunlight is within the acceptable range. So sunlight cannot be directly related. We know that sunlight or the solar energy is related to the wind energy, but it is not directly related with the wind currents here. So option 3 is correct only. 1, 2, and 4 are incorrect. Then we have the sixth question. So it says windmills with space blades satisfy the condition of high torque and reduce psychological impact on people near the site. So we have already discussed in the previous class that your what will be the impact of one blade design. What
वो पिएगा तभी सूखेगा.
so someone's mic is not mute, so please mute your mic.
क्या पैक हो गया है. आस्था का किताब पैक कर लो अपना अलग से देना उसको, उससे तुम ले लो अपना किताब.
Yes. So we have already discussed what is the drawbacks of one blade design, three blade design. So we found that, and the four blade design. So we have found that the most efficient is the three blade design and the most safe also. So also it has the lowest psychological impact on the people near to the site. So if you have more blades, so it will lead to more psychological impact. But the three blade design is the most acceptable design and which is the safest also. So that is why three long blades are always used to for a commercial windmill. So option 2 is correct. Then we have the question 7. It says while manufacturing blades and other parts of windmills, it is important for us to think some 2-3 decades down the line for the plan of the material. So options are safe disposal, possibility of recycling, environmental impact of large scale and distributed uses, natural color enhancement. So we know that option 1, 2, 3 are suitable, that the blades or the metal should be safe to dispose, because after 2-3 decades, when your lifespan of a windmill completes, so you need to replace those. So you need to look at the recycling of that material of the blades. So possibility of recycle it need to be considered, and the safe disposal of parts which are not able to be recycled. So safe disposal is also criteria, and environmental impact, overall environmental impact of the large scale and distribution uses. So this environmental impact starts from the manufacturing of the interruption. Yeah. So this environmental impact includes all carbon emissions or carbon footprints of overall life of a windmill. So starting from the manufacturing, from the materials, the excavation of the materials, the all the processes required to fabricate a windmill, its lifespan, and the its disposal and the recycling. So all environmental impact need to be considered. So option 1, 2, 3 are correct. The natural color enhancement is not an option because it will not impact the environment. So the fourth option is not correct. Then we have the question 8. It says increasing the height of a windmill tower will. So we have a windmill here. So we know that increasing the height will having the higher speed of wind currents. So your horizontal type commercial line, there should be at the higher temperatures. So the options are increase the overall cost of the infrastructure, decrease the wind speed faced by the blade, increase the power generated, increase the wind shear. So we know as we go higher, your size of your windmill and the size of the uh, stand should be also be higher. So that is why your overall cost of the infrastructure will increase. Your base size where you will be putting, so your base size will be uh, strong enough to maintain the okay. So it should be strong enough to keep it safe in case of higher winds and the rough weather. So overall cost will be much higher and it will increase with the height of the windmill. But option 2 is not correct because the high wind speed will be higher. So option 2 says to decrease the wind speed faced by the blade. So that is incorrect because the with the height your speed will also be increased. Increase the power generated. So that is direct, the power generated is directly related to the wind speed. So that is also correct. And if the wind speeds are higher, you will also have the higher wind shear. So option 1, 3 and 4 are correct for this case. Then we have the question 9 on the best limit. So we know the what is the best limit. So basically this is the highest limit for the highest possible energy efficiency for a windmill. So we know that your best limit is around 59% for horizontal exit windmill. So this is the highest efficiency of or the highest theoretical limit for a horizontal type windmill to produce energy. So we have already seen what is the best limit. We have already had a lot of interaction on the best limit and many questions we have seen. So this is kind of this is a important question or the best important topic for your exams. So you should keep this in mind. Then we have the 10th question. So it is again on the efficiencies or the velocities of the windmill. So we have a horizontal type windmill here. The question says if V1 is the wind velocity faced by the windmill blades. So this is the V1 faced by the windmill blade and V2 is the wind velocity after passing the windmill blades. So V2 is the after passing blades, after passing wind speeds, wind velocities. Then what is the significance of term V1 by V2 is equal to alpha is equal to -1. So we have to see what is the V1 by V2. So basically this is the ratio of V1 or the incident or the incoming wind's velocity and the outgoing wind velocities. So this is alpha. So alpha is -1 is it means the V1 is equal to V2 but with negative sign. So we know for a traditional or for a conventional uh, condition. So your V1 is higher or the before wind these are higher and V2 is lower. So your V1 by V2 will be your V1 by V2. Let's say this is 100%, and this V2 is your 50. So your alpha will be higher than 1. So the options are wind speed after crossing the windmill is more than the before the windmill. Wind speed before and after interacting with windmill is the same. Wind velocity before and after interacting with the windmill is the same. And wind hitting the and reversing the same speed. So the option 2 and 4th is correct in this case because it says your V1 is equal to V2. So your wind speed before and after entering the windmill is the same. So V1 is equal to V2, but with reversing the same speed. Reversing the same speed means you are having the same speed, but your sign is negative because you have the -1, alpha is equal to -1. So your wind hitting and reversing at the same speed. So it is reversing. So option 2 and 4 are correct, and 1 and 2 are not correct. So this is a very hypothetical condition, because we don't have the values of alpha is equal to 1, or we don't have the V1 is equal to V2 in with opposite direction. So this is a condition given, but this is a hypothetical condition. So just keep it in mind. So we have done these 10 questions from the last week, and we have also finished this OTEC system as well as the geothermal questions of the geothermal. So few questions are in the next week 10 discussion. So for today, these are the questions are the assignment questions are done. So it is time for our interaction. So if you have any questions on any doubts, so you may please ask.
Actually, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the third question, like efficiency of OTEC. Actually,
Okay.
here data is what will be the approximate efficiency of an OTEC plant if the surface temperature is at 373 Kelvin and colder water temperature is 298 Kelvin. Already data is given. Asking if the surface is at this. The surface
Can,
temperature is given.
can you please, your voice is slightly breaking, so can you just repeat?
Yes. Actually, in question, data is given. What will be the approximate efficiency?
Okay. So you are just saying that the option 1A should be correct.
Because it is not ask approximate option is asking because data is given. If the surface temperature is at 370 degree sorry 373 Kelvin. Basically, it is saying that if the surface temperature is at 373 Kelvin and colder water temperature is 298 Kelvin, if that data is given, then what is the approximate efficiency? This is a just theoretical. It is asking.
Yes, for the hypothetical condition, that should be correct. But if you
Yes,
see
yes.
the data, your lower temperature should, it is given that lower temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, right? If you convert it. So,
Practically not possible, but as per
hmm,
data,
yeah, for if they are clear that hypothetically this condition is given, then it is clearly correct. But if they are not saying, if they are asking that if this condition is possible or not, then you should mark that it is not possible. But if they are
yes,
giving four options, they are not asking for it is whether possible or not possible. They are given four options, then clearly your option A will be correct. But that is a hypothetical
yes,
question. So the question is slightly not stated well. So if the question is stated well or clear, then it is not be a confusing condition.
yes, sir. But as per question format, the first option is correct.
Yeah. So it is slightly, you can say, debatable if they are asking for because this question is not very well stated. So either this kind of condition, in this kind of condition, so this type of question should not be given in the exams. Okay, so these are for your practice. So for your practice, that is why they have given. But it should be stated properly that either it should be mentioned that this is a hypothetical question condition. Otherwise, this this data is like impossible for OTEC systems.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Data is not possible, but just asking approximate efficiency if this is given.
Yeah, if in that case they can ask anything. If this is given like for because you know the formula, so usually what happens, the if the efficiencies are more than 100%, so we always mark that no, it is not possible. But they can give the data. So if there, so there should always be option that if the condition is given or not. let's say they are asking for a normal engine. So the engine is given, your condition is like temperature is given before and after, and they are asking that you find the efficiencies. So efficiencies are let's say you are getting 300%. So basically that is not possible. So either they should give the option that it is not possible, or they should mention this is the hypothetical question. So in that
Yes.
case, the question is if you consider that this is a hypothetical condition, then the option one is correct. And if you see this practically, then the option fourth is correct. So that is kind of up to the thinking now.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Excuse
Thank
me,
you, sir.
excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can- Sir, similarly in the first question, OTC principle is based on the. Can you repeat that question again, sir?
Which one? This one.
OTC principle is based on the between the warm water and surface and cold water. No, not the
But which,
first
what is
question.
it? This one.
First, yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
So
Can
basically,
you explain?
the options are pressure gradient, temperature gradient, sorry, pressure gradient, temperature difference, thermal coefficient, and temperature fluctuations. So in these all options, you know that these uh, these OT systems are based on the temperature difference. We have already seen in this previous question. So what should
Okay, sir.
be? So it should be the temperature of deep sea versus and the difference between the surface temperature. So let's say this is your 25 to 35 degrees Celsius at the surface, and this is your deep sea, cold deep water. So it is around 3 to 7. So what will your temperature difference? It should be around 15 to 25, let's say 20 degrees Celsius. So it should be the temperature difference. It is not about the temperature gradients or how the temperature gradient means how the temperature changes with height. So we don't care about the temperature gradient because we are just looking at 2 points. One is at the surface and one is at the cold deep. So and pressure has no role in that. Always, it is clear that pressure will be higher at this higher depth, but pressure is not playing any role here. So temperature is the playing role. So temperature difference as well as the 1.5 kilometer mark, because we know after 1.1 to 1.5 the temperature will be 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, but as you go very deep the temperature will be almost constant. So I have shown it here. So as you go around 1000, your temperature is near 4 degree. As you go around 1500, temperature is near to 4 degrees Celsius, very close. But as you go very, very deep, your temperature will still decrease, but in very less low magnitude. So even you go 5000, your temperature will be around 2 and more than 2. So you are seeing the difference only of 1 or 2 degrees. So that is why it is not a suitable condition, because at 5 kilometer your pressure will be very huge. So your instrument or whatever machineries you are using, that will not be standing with this pressure. So option second is correct, that the temperature difference at 1.5, approximate 1.5 kilometers.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, similarly, how can you explain the interpretation of the sentence "a journey to the center of the earth is possible"?
Sorry,
So the general concept of a journey to the center of the earth is possible.
your voice is not clear, so a lot of air disturbance.
Sir, the general concept of a journey to the center of the earth is possible. Can you
Okay.
explain?
So it is very clear that the temperatures are very high. See here, temperatures are 3000 degrees Celsius. So if you want to make a hole, or make a hole at the Earth's surface, and you try to go through the inner core, so that will not be possible because we don't have any material to withstand the 6000 degrees Celsius mark temperature, as well as your pressure will be very high. So you see here, your pressure is in 364 4 gigapascal, not kilopascal. It is gigapascal, and temperature is around 6,200 Kelvin. It is at the inner core. So this is a depth of around 6,400 kilometers, which is the radius considered as the radius of the Earth. So the temperature and pressure are so high, so we cannot make a way to get a journey to the center of the Earth. Okay, so this is a very important.
Okay.
This is the condition, and somebody may ask, so this is the inner core. So what is the inner core made up of? This is iron, and that is I have shown here. So why iron is important here? Because here the iron is in HCP crystal structure, which is only possible at very high temperatures and very high pressures. Otherwise, the iron is in BCC or FCC. So that is also a point to note. So that is why this is the reason we cannot go through the Earth's surface, the center of the Earth.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, sir.
so just for the additional information, people have hypothetically tried to make a journey from let's say from point A to point B. So here, this is the point A, this is the point B. So if you want to go from country, or let's say from North Pole to South Pole, so what will be the easiest way? So easiest way will be just make a tunnel in the Earth and go from here to here. So clearly that is not possible due to this reason. So people have also planned to make a tunnel like that, which will be not going through the core, but will go from here to here. So you will have face high temperatures and high pressures, but still it can be maintained. So this is kind of a hypothetical condition, or a kind of a plan which is not yet done, but this kind of journey is still possible. So you can make a tunnel throughout the 2 points A and B here. So your distance will be very less, and if you evacuate air from here, so you will be having very less friction. And the most important thing is, from point A to, let's say, middle of the this length, you will not need to use any fuel, because you will come by the gravity only. Then only after the halfway you have to use the gravity. So you can use the kinetic energy, potential energy from A to middle of that, and you will get enough kinetic energy to go from here to halfway more. So it is can be a very efficient way to use the Earth's gravity to make a vehicle, but this is a all hypothetical condition till now. So okay. So any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we still have some time. So and if anybody or anyone have any doubts and queries, you may please ask. Otherwise, the discussion or the interaction is done for today. So you may leave, but if you have any queries, you can just ask too.
सर हमारा जो एग्जाम होगा सर वो 28 अप्रैल को होगा
28th April. So actually, I don't know about the exam, but what is the schedule? So it is not notified to you.
सर वो टेंटेटिव लिखा हुआ था सर वो इसलिए मैंने सोचा कि क्या पता वो कंफर्म हो गया हो
उससे पहले notify कर देंगे. Actually, I don't know exactly about the exams, but you will be notified.
ओके सर एंड सर ये पैटर्न जैसे हमें प्रीवियस ईयर अगर देखने होंगे कि किस तरह के
हम्म।
क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, पैटर्न क्या होगा, तो फिर सर उसका कोई NPTEL पे कोई सोर्स है?
आई डोंट थिंक कि प्रीवियस ईयर एग्जाम क्वेश्चंस अवेलेबल नहीं होते हैं। एग्जाम्स क्वेश्चन तो कोर्स हमको भी अवेलेबल नहीं होते, मींस इफ यू हैव इवन इफ यू हैव रजिस्टर्ड तो एग्जाम क्वेश्चन अवेलेबल नहीं होंगे, बट द क्वेश्चंस विल बी सिमिलर टू योर जो असाइनमेंट क्वेश्चंस है, तो इसके
सर
सिमिलर ही
मतलब
होंगे। हम्म।
MCQs हो गए, मतलब कोई थ्योरी में कोई रिटर्न नहीं होगा, 2
नो
मार्क
नो,
और 3 मार्क?
रिटर्न नहीं होता। ये तुम्हारा ऑफलाइन है या ऑनलाइन है क्वेश्चन एग्जाम?
सर ऑफलाइन बोला था उन्होंने, सेंटर पे जाके हमें करना है।
सेंटर पे जाके होगा, बट ये एमसीक्यू ही होना चाहिए, बिकॉज और एमसीक्यू एंड कुछ कैलकुलेशन टाइप का जो हो सकता है न्यूमेरिकल, बट आई डोंट थिंक कि वो कुछ डिस्क्रिप्टिव टाइप है, कुछ लिखने का ऐसा क्वेश्चन देंगे। वो इट इज ऑल ऑनलाइन, मीन ऑन एट द सेंटर बट इन द ऑनलाइन मोड,
अच्छा,
but the
ओके सर।
instruction will be given, so you can follow the instructions whatever they are saying.
ओके सर। एंड सर जैसे ये हमारा जैसे आपके जो असाइनमेंट्स होते हैं सर, वो काफी मतलब थ्योरी वैल्यू बेस्ड है। जैसे कार्बन की एंथैल्पी गैस, तो फिर सर वो जैसे वैल्यूज हमें याद करनी पड़ेगी फाइनल पेपर के लिए भी?
तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स तो वैल्यूज दिया होता है, मीन्स बहुत कम क्वेश्चंस ऐसे हैं जिनमें वैल्यूज याद करना होगा, और कुछ जनरल वैल्यूज होता है कुछ कुछ, तो वो आइदर दे देते हैं, मतलब मोस्टली दे देते हैं क्वेश्चंस के अंदर। अगर कुछ भी ऐसा ओड है, लेट से कुछ जी का वैल्यू 9.8 अगर वेरी नॉन है, तो वो कभी कभी नहीं देते हैं, क्योंकि 9.8 से कैलकुलेट करो या 10 से कैलकुलेट करो, इट इज ओके। तो अगर कोई ऐसा वैल्यू है तो वो दे देंगे। यूजुअली इस कोर्स में बहुत ज्यादा न्यूमेरिकल्स नहीं है, बहुत कम ही न्यूमेरिकल्स
यस
है।
सर, वही मतलब वैल्यू बेस्ड, जैसे अगर MCQ आ गया कि व्हाट इज द एंथैल्पी ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड अगर आ गया, तो फिर
हम्म।
वो वैल्यू -394 जैसे है, तो वो हमें याद करके जाना पड़ेगा जैसे?
हाँ, अगर यूजुअली दे देंगे वो, बट समटाइम्स दे डोंट। सो इफ अगर उन्होंने कोर्स में पढ़ाया है तो अगर उनको एक बार माइंड में रखो, एक -314 है, तो ये कोर्स में कई बार आ चुका है, तो उसको तुम थोड़ा माइंड में रखो, अदरवाइज वैल्यूज मिल जाती है, क्वेश्चन में दे देंगे वैल्यूज।
ओके ओके सर। एंड सर वो इस वाली सर रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर को सर यूट्यूब पे अपलोड कर देना सर प्लीज।
किस वाले?
सर अभी जो रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर है अभी।
ओके, आज का, हाँ। सो आज का हो जाएगा, ऑलमोस्ट आज ही नाइट में हो जाएगा।
ओके सर।